Hey guys, so today we're going to be talking about painting journals. Painting journals are basically a place where you're going to store your paint recipes. This can be for your average everyday user, whether it be someone who's just trying to find consistency in their army, once again, consistency for commissioned painters, people who go long times in between painting sessions, upwards of 2+ weeks. Like I just finished painting one of my first miniatures since almost November, and it's March. And I'm talking just like a basic tactical squad guy. So, and then it can also be for people who are working on a long-term project. Let's say you get some sort of Titan, and you're needing the shoulder pad to match the, like the greave or something like that, or the leg plate or whatever. So the painting journal can be super duper simple. It can be as simple as literally getting a loose leaf piece of paper, writing down what you're doing, and taping it up on your wall, your desk, whatever. It could be, you can take it to the next step. Some people take a drop of paint, write out the name of what they're doing, and maybe write out the recipe next to it, or give a color mixture on the paper so that they have a reference of, this is what I need it to look like. This is what I originally had. There are people who take photos of each step. So they take a photo of, I painted it with this color, this is what it looks like. I painted it with this color, this is what it looks like. Same thing, there's people who do things like take a photo of the paint pot, put it next to the item after they've done whatever they've done, and it basically shows, this is the paint I used, this is the effect that it had. Gosh, what else is there? If you're obviously a more advanced painter, like Rabbit Dog Studios, I asked him if I could use some of his content on here. He is a runner-up, I believe, in the Golden Demon, if I remember that correctly. But obviously he's a more advanced painter, so he has photos of his piece and then a handful of paint, and I'm assuming it's in the order that he used it, but basically he knows enough about that paint and what he's wanting to do with it to get that effect, and he just wants an idea of which paint specifically he used. But really what sparked this whole video was, recently I came across a painting app, and basically it literally is a painting journal for your phone. I know that there is the Citadel app, or Citadel Paint app, and basically that has a storage of a whole bunch of pre-painted models and the recipes that the GW crew uses, but those are GW specific paints, recipes, things like that, so you're only going to be able to get that type of stuff. So if you only have Citadel paints and you want to reference points for some of that stuff, that might be a good way to go. Maybe you save certain models on there, something that's your favorite, or maybe something that you're working on, or maybe you like how something turned out, so you want to borrow that paint recipe for Citadel paints. That's also a good reference. But this app allows you to use any of the brands out there, because you literally have to the journal yourself. So basically you'll set it up, and you'll start a project, and whenever you get into the app, you have to log all of your paints, which honestly was a little bit of a pain in the butt. I kind of wish, for the amount of money that I paid for the app, which was about $4, and I think it's only available on iOS, but I paid money for this app, and I was kind of hoping they'd have like a log of the paints and maybe some sort of scanner that recognizes the color of the paint. Like if you held up the paint to the camera, it would recognize it. But unfortunately they didn't. So you have to go through, and they have it's like a little color wheel with a little dot on it, and you have to run it around there until you find the color that you want for your paint to match them up. Then you have to type in the paint name, the brand. You can scan the barcode. I think that might be just for organizational purposes, or maybe if you're doing maybe certain types of paint or something like that, you need to match the barcodes. I don't know. But either way, this allows you to go outside of the Citadel range. So I have Citadel, I have Vallejo, I have a artist ink that I use to paint some of my Death Guard. So it allowed me to add those under certain brands. And I basically had to type them in and look at the ink or the color of the paint or whatever, make a comparison on this little color wheel, and whenever you put it in, and I'll show you some photos here. I just figured out, I think, how to overlay photos over the video. So hopefully this works, but I can't guarantee you the stars. But basically it'll show you like a little color, what it is, the name of the paint, and then the brand. So basically it allows you to categorize your paints. And then on top of that, once you get the project started, it allows you to add materials. And basically what that is you'll say, alright, this is the material, so I'm going to change that to, this is how I did, I'll put base coat as the title. Once you go into that material, you'll list paint 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, etc. So it can be as simple as you can say, hey, this is the base coat, and just do Death Guard green, like for mine. Or you can say, this is the base coat, and then I also hit it with, right underneath it, you can add your ink or your shade or whatever you use to shade it. Either that, or you can do just the base coat, and then the next material, which is the next, you'll have to back up and go to the next category. You can say, this is the shade I used for the whole model, or whatever, but I prefer to go step by, like item by item. So what I did is, I'm pretty sure I put, hey, I basically did Death Guard green rattle can spray. Then I did the custom shade that I made for the my ink or whatever, because I'm trying to step out of bounds a little bit with Citadel and make my own stuff. And then on top of that, afterwards, I added my highlight that I added, which was basically just a 3-to-1 Death Guard green to I think it was off-white maybe, but basically it was just to make a lighter green so I could do a little bit of highlighting on the Death Guard guys. So that's some of the stuff that you have to do to go through it, but it allows you to create a neat, organized list of paints and things, and even possible, not even techniques. I mean, you can technically tag each item, so you could say, hey, this is the color I used, it was a base coat. This is the next color I used, it was a shade. This is the next color I used, it was this. And you can have that listed out, so it helps break it down very cleanly. And the app looks really nice. Plus, whenever you set up the materials, each material has a little icon, I guess, next to it, and that's related to whatever material you want it to be. So whenever you select that icon, you have a choice of, it can look like a little rock, or it can look like fabric, and it's got all different kinds of shades and stuff. There's a little fire cube to represent flames or something like that, or burning, or there's a little slime cube, there's a little crystal cube or whatever. So like for my armor, I just used a solid green cube. For my cloth, I used a red velvety looking cloth cube. For my eye lenses, I used a blue crystal looking cube, because that's what color my eye lenses are. For my bolt gun, for like my sword, I used like a rusty metal cube. So basically it has all these little cubes, and they can help represent what each item is. So one, it's easy to organize, plus it adds a really nice flavor to the app. It's not just this boring, dry, hard to look at app. And with that, you can add all those colors and all that stuff to that project, and then you can take down, you can, on the next step down, you can select your miniatures. So I selected my first miniature and took a picture of the guy that I did and did 100% complete or whatever. And basically it can help you track your completedness through the process. So you can say, hey, I did this, 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 and this today. So by completing this, I'm a certain percentage, and it keeps track of it percentage-wise of how complete you are. You can make notes. I think on each step of the materials you can make notes and things like that. So there's a whole bunch of stuff that you can do to make yourself more productive, keep track of your stuff. So anyways guys, hope that helps you understand what a paint journal is and how you can find some consistency in your painting and your modeling. You could probably even use this for things like conversions and stuff. Let's say you're building a certain type of army, whether it be Tart Mechanicum or you're looking for this, that, or the other, and you can't remember which part or which sword or what thing you use for each guy. Maybe you could write that down and say, hey, I use this guy's head, this guy's torso, same torso, this sword for this guy's arm, and then maybe this gun or something like that. So anyways, hope you guys have a good one. See you later. Thanks.